one of the biggest things that he wants to take away from young quarterbacks, because everybody wants to do a jump throw. Everybody wants to do this.
Yeah.
It's like nobody knows how to just regular throw the football.
Right.
Because everybody wants to do all the
all the other
Patrick
stuff.
Mahomes and Josh Allens.
But this guy won the Heisman Trophy doing it.
True.
Or
So did Baker Mayfield.
or you can say the coach.
So did Kyler
Yeah,
Murray.
sure.
And that's going to be the big thing.
Yeah.
His coach has now won 3 Heisman Trophy winners. Or
That's
has
right.
he's coached 3 Heisman Trophy winners. So is it all Lincoln Riley?
Is it all Lincoln Riley? Yeah.
Who does Caleb Williams remind you of? I'm trying to think. Who does he remind you of?
See, I want to see more of him,
But not
on the
Mahomes.
NFL level.
I watched them all last year. The best
Yeah.
thing about Caleb Williams is as soon as you think you've got him penned in, he is gone.
Okay.
He is so
But see,
escapable.
Dare I say a
sometimes he was
bigger
doing it.
Manziel?
Well,
That was the same kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, get out, make magic. Yeah.
I think first year Caleb Williams at USC was different. Like, to me, he bought into more what was going on. Then
second year.
Caleb Williams was like backyard football.
I can't be coached.
it was
backyard football.
Yeah.
It was like hike, and he just
Well,
was back there
literally,
like,
I mean, the whole team broke down
Yes.
around Lincoln Riley.
Maybe that's
Correct.
what
I don't necessarily blame that on Caleb. I think everything went south all of a sudden in that program when you realized, oh my God, they're going to lose 5 games because they wound up losing 5 games. I mean, I think
My mom said he would have fired him.
is that right?
That's what he said. He would have fired him after that year. That's how bad it was towards the end.
Finebaum
Yeah,
wants to
everything-
fire
it had
everybody.
fallen apart.
He wants to fire everybody.
Not like that, though. I mean,
he wants
after
to fire Lane Kiffin.
in 2 years? Come on, man. It
fire
must have been
everybody.
bad at SC.
They fell apart.
Yeah.
They did. After a decent start, they just fell apart.
Wow.
This year, it'll be interesting to see what, I mean, we're also the home of the USC Trojans. It'll be interesting to see
can't
what they
wait to
do with
Miller
Big
Moss.
Ten games and
Miller Moss, baby.
At
Miller
Michigan,
Moss era.
and-
Here we go.
Penn State Coliseum.
The
I
bowl
mean, it's going to
game
be a
every
cool
week.
year.
Yeah.
I keep laughing. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, so much travel!" Like, they fly charter, right?
Right.
You know they have like steak dinners and all. Trust me, that's where you got your food at.
You're
So
gonna
I-
get worried
as a
about-
college student. I used to get on the airplane. And you got Snickers falling out of the
Yeah.
sky. You've got sandwiches.
You got to worry about
Yes.
women's soccer, men's
gonna hurt.
soccer. Those are the
They're
people that
flying
you worry
commercial.
about.
Yeah,
those
yeah,
are-
a USC versus Purdue baseball game in February.
Wow.
or
When
March.
the women's volleyball team goes to Rutgers.
Enjoy that.
It's like,
Yes.
hello, Jersey. All right, we are live from Rams training camp. It is the final day of training camp for the Rams, and I'm here along with DeMarco Farr and Kirk Morrison. Another hour coming at you next, 710 ESPN.
This member of the Ramily, Steve Mason.
And Kirk Morris. Yeah! Yeah! Gets his own
I get
introduction.
my own intro.
So what's going on in the game? It sounds like the defense is having a good day.
Defense is having a good
picked
day.
off again.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 picks from Stafford. Saw one from
Jimmy G threw one.
Yeah.
And
Got
also
used
that
to
last
that.
one was just a little bit of a force. It looked like Matthew was trying to force it to Puka Nacua, which
Uh-oh.
hopefully
He's
it's
bringing
not
him up.
a preview for
Look.
the rest of the season.
Uh-oh.
He's bringing them up. He's reminding, hey, look, this is we're on the same team here. Getting a little fired up.
Or I think
Yeah.
we got
Come
one
on.
last. Or hey, you know.
Or
Does it get chippy at practice a lot?
Oh my God!
Well, you,
Yeah.
you also have to reel in the focus, mate.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the focus right now, I'm telling you, we've been in these practices. My car's packed up. I've got one foot out the door.
Exactly.
I know I get to
took
go
your
home
shower
to my
pill.
own bed already. Yeah, shower pill's already in my locker. So the focus sometimes is you're elsewhere.
Yeah.
I get to get back to the family. Guys will have the night off. They may be able to get a chance to go to the fight. Who knows what's going on? But
Right.
Oh, my
obviously,
God.
this is where the coach comes and brings everybody in and say, hey, look, I don't know what's going on here. But right now, we're not having an efficient
Remember what
practice.
Demoff said, right?
Yeah.
Defense is winning.
Yeah,
Sean's
defense
not
is
happy.
winning.
Or
Yeah.
it could be what happened.
Sean's
when the
not
defense,
happy.
Yeah, the defense
Yeah.
starts to intercept Matthew Stafford. Hey, bring it up, everybody. Hey,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah, wait a minute. Let's.
And it starts to rise. Defense starts to, pump their fists, and
Yeah.
the offense wants them to get back. Next thing you know, we're fighting.
Right.
That's how it goes.
Right.
Got to bring it in. That's why I got to bring
Yeah.
everybody
Bring
in.
everybody in.
We bring everybody in.
Yeah. So as you look around out here, I'm wondering,
Yeah.
Rams fans have grown. The Rams fan base has grown.
The Ramily.
The Ramily, as
You mean
we
like
call it.
in number or
In
just
number.
Okay,
In
yeah.
number.
Yes.
More and more Rams fans, I think. And part of it, the growth has been stuff like this, getting out in the community, being amongst fans. I think it's
winning.
Winning has made a huge difference. Obviously, a Super Bowl, playoffs, generally speaking, every year, 1 year off. But I feel like the base of Rams fans is growing. Do you feel the same?
I do. I think it's growing. There's a bunch of kids that are my daughter's age that
Yeah.
know nothing except Cooper Kupp,
Yep.
Aaron Donald. They're just the Rams. So, yeah, you're growing that way organically, and you're reconnecting with people that used to love the Rams in the past. So you're bringing them back. You're creating new fans. You're growing.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this is strategic. Talking to Kevin Dimoff earlier.
Yep.
Training camp has always been in Irvine.
Yeah.
And that was in Orange County. That's a different section of Rams fans. To have training camp a little bit closer here in L.A., to have more of a footprint in Los Angeles, they've already done that. They've won a Super Bowl. They've been to another Super Bowl. So they've already done that. But to have it here, this intimate setting,
Yep.
and to get involved, LMU, to me, just tells me that they are LA's team. The
Yeah.
other team is still trying to get – they've built an entire new facility,
Yep.
a bolt. That's the whole thing. And yet it's not really talked about.
Right.
Because when you're not winning, no one cares.
Sure.
You can have this shiny new building, but you're not winning. It doesn't care. I talked about this the other day, and I think you've talked about it before too. Remember when the Rams got these new uniforms?
Oh, yeah.
And everybody was like, no, what is this? I don't like it. This is
I want to go back to the old way.
it's crazy what happens when you start winning, right?
Yeah,
It's
it
crazy
is.
when you start winning because they went from like nobody liked the uniform to one of the best uniforms in all of the NFL. Like the color combos.
Yep.
When you're watching and that helmet pops on a Sunday about 1 o'clock, that's one of the best uniforms.
Do you
in
think
the NFL.
anybody can release a uniform or logo now without people going, I don't like it?
No.
I
No.
like the old one.
Think about how many teams have to announce, we got to do throwbacks. We got to do it.
Right.
I was always got to be
It's
one
always.
that hates it. Always.
Everybody.
I do love those Rams back stuff.
I do.
I do.
It's
I do.
fun.
Because when I was a
Look,
little kid, that was the Rams.
Correct.
When I was a little kid. People wonder, nobody believes this for whatever reason, but when I was a little kid, I was a Rams fan growing up in Ohio. Because
Really?
my mom can verify this.
Is this the lie of the day?
No, it's really not. When I was a
Wow.
little kid, my mom was a Steelers fan, my dad was a Cowboys fan, my brother was a Raiders fan, and I
All in
wanted
one house.
And I wanted
Yeah.
to have a team that was in it every year, that was different from everybody else.
Okay.
And the Rams in those days, they were cycling through quarterbacks. I remember Burt Jones and Dan Pastorini and John Hadle and John Harris and all the Dieter Brock and Vince Ferragamo and Pat Haight. They went through a lot of guys. So, but we were in it every year. My favorite player, Lawrence McCutcheon.
Yeah.
And
Clutch.
in the days of Chuck Knox, ran ground Chuck, and McCutcheon had big years. So I was a big Rams fan as a little kid. Closest we got was 79. Had the lead at halftime and lost to the Steelers, got away. But
Just talk to Frank Corral about that. He was on that team.
was he on that
was on
team?
that team. I just
Yeah.
talked to him about that.
But
yeah.
I mean, when I was a little kid, I loved the Rams.
Yeah.
I loved the Rams.
So it is definitely growing. It's going to take time to grow in this in this market. You know how it is. I mean, you're competing with the Dodgers, the Lakers.
Yep.
There's a lot of different flavors for everybody here, but as long as you keep winning and
Correct.
you keep doing things like this, you'll grow that fan base
Yeah,
eventually.
yeah. Obviously, the Super Bowl made a huge difference. It looks like, is practice breaking up right now?
Yeah, it looks like it.
No, they got one more. Yeah, they
I
got
think
one
they're
more.
going back. No, it's not over yet.
It's not over yet?
No, because nobody's
they-
running for the door.
Does anybody take their shower pill early?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as
Can't
that
take a
final
shower
horn
pill.
blows. That final horn
Right.
blows.
That's when you take the
and
shower
you got to
pill.
have your rookie take your pads in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
yeah.
God,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Hey, go take this in.
There you go.
That's part of the deal,
Yes,
huh?
sir.
That's
See ya.
part of the deal.
I remember one time so there was like one way out of the parking lot
Yep.
on the last practice, and that horn blew. Everybody took their shower pills, and Zach Crockett, fullback,
yeah.
Florida State, parked his big giant semi and blocked the entrance or exit of the parking lot and left.
Really? And left?
For like
Was
30,
it like
he
was
left
it
for
like a prank? Was
it
he
was like a
punking
prank
people?
for 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Where everybody's like ready to roll. We all in our cars and back there. We had never been so mad at a player before
Yeah, I bet.
that I still haven't forgave him. This happened years.
Is that right? And still.
we were ready. Think about somebody blocking the
Oh, I'd be
entrance
so mad.
Oh,
or the
yeah.
exit.
The
You used
exit.
to let the rookies go first. Clear out the cops. Yeah, go ahead.
Speed traps.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So it'll be getaway day. For all
Absolutely.
intents and purposes.
Yes.
Get
Oh,
away
man.
as fast as possible.
Yes, yeah. But, I mean, the training camp's a little bit different now. I don't see anybody bleeding.
Right.
Yeah.
You see any blood?
But do you
I have not
want to
seen
see
weird
blood?
blood.
Yes.
I mean, this is what we're used to.
Yeah.
Training
Some
camp.
bloody
Training camp
knuckles,
is about
something.
blood. Yeah, I don't see any blood on anybody
I
anywhere.
want to see some sweat. I don't even see sweat a lot of times.
Well, it's because it's so nice and breezy here at
It is.
LMU. You can't
By the
even
way,
get
that
to
is
it.
the nice thing about LMU
Yeah.
is the weather is fantastic. Irvine
Yeah.
was like broadcasting from the face
If
of the
you're a
sun.
free agent, how could you not want to come play here?
Yeah.
You could do this year round.
That's crazy.
You can get healthy. You can work on your game in December outdoors if you want to. It's perfect.
So what will their schedule be from now? Obviously, first preseason game is next week against the Cowboys.
Correct.
Did they settle into a normal game
You're gonna
schedule
go into
now?
your
Is that what
routine.
goes on?
Yeah, you can start the routine.
Your game day routine. So Monday, you're going to have your film sessions, your weight room stuff, maybe a little field stuff, and
Right.
then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are your work days.
Yeah.
You taper it down on Friday. Get ready to play.
Right.
Yeah, I mean-
So they're into their groove now.
They're into their groove. Next week they get a field trip. So
Right.
a little
Yeah.
excitement. The field trip to Oxnard to
Yeah.
take on the Cowboys for a little inter
By
squad
the
practice.
way, out of, did you see the Cowboys stands are empty for training
See,
camp?
I think they probably only had select season ticket holders.
Yeah, because there were a
This-
lot of empty seats.
See, that's a lot of these parody accounts. So they're doing things.
Oh, are you saying that they
making
really
an
are?
image
Okay.
of
Okay.
like? Because come on, man, the Cowboys.
The
The Cowboys.
have
Okay.
people.
They've got.
Okay.
I want to
listen.
feel like, who cares about the Cowboys? Boo, Cowboys.
Yeah. Here's the thing I'll say.
Right.
We did a story yesterday about aggregation.
Okay.
How you can take a little clip of something
Correct.
and project every a wide receiver makes a catch and they
Right.
happen to catch it on video and it goes on Twitter and people are like, this guy's going to have a really big year
Yes.
and you never hear from him again. I think that's what we're talking about. So in
what
other words,
happens, yeah.
somebody could have taken a picture of the stands there beforehand and then tweeted it out.
I
Yeah.
forgot who. Somebody did a whole dissertation about this. Kevin, he's on the Around the Horn. I think.
Kevin.
I forgot. Okay.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin Pelton or Kevin O'Connor?
O'Connor. That's what-
O'Connor.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so he goes and he's just.
Oh yeah, O'Connor.
Yeah. No, he did like this 5-minute. Like, we have to stop this.
Yeah, I
we
saw
have to stop these people from putting these small clips and making and warping the mind
And
brains.
extrapolating it out
Yes.
into some
Yeah.
Because
gigantic
people
story.
are so upset. They're skinning out. Reporters are asking the coaches, hey, why is this? There's a video of Brandon Ayuk, receiver for the 49ers. He went and said and gave his head coach, Kyle Shanahan, a hug.
Yep.
People thought it was a goodbye hug.
Saying goodbye.
So Kyle Shanahan has had to answer questions about, hey.
So
there's
somebody
a,
tweets out, Ayuk says goodbye.
Yeah,
Right.
Ayuk said, look at this goodbye hug. Look at the mannerism. You got
like
a
the
coach
National
who,
Enquirer,
Yes,
isn't
the
it?
coach
Yeah.
has to answer a question about a hug. He says,
Yeah.
"Nah, I just gave him a bro hug. Like,
Yeah,
like,
right.
Hey, what's going on? All right, bro. Good to see you.
Yeah.
No, but it's new. So everybody who put these clips out there, we got to stop it. We got to stop it.
Who do you need to stop?
the people who are doing it.
We need context.
We need
Is
more
that what-
context.
what-
Yes.
Yeah, there's
There
no.
we go.
That's the point. There is no context.
Yes.
anymore.
Yeah.
Like even when you read a quote on Twitter,
Yeah.
Right.
it's like, yeah, but I mean, what was the article before, after that to
Right.
see exactly why
Here's
it
what we
was
need.
said?
We need very long, great articles like Jordan Rodriguez does for The Athletic.
Yes.
Yeah,
and you
long
just read
form.
the entirety of it, and
Yeah.
Real stuff.
everyone knows everything. But
That
I think,
Sha'Carri Richardson settles.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
settles.
Settles.
Well,
for a
technically-
silver
technically-
medal.
No context.
Like, how do you settle?
Technically, you have to settle for it.
Yeah.
Right? No, she settled for it because
You
I
can't
didn't get
dispute
the
it.
gold one.
I wanted
Yeah.
the sea bass, but I settled for the steak instead.
Yeah,
Like,
the whole
yes.
thing is like people will see stuff. They don't do their own research. They just
Settle.
make assumptions.
Although
off of
They've
whatever.
changed it
Yeah.
to Alfred upsets Richardson.
Oh, there we
nice,
go. Oh,
nice.
see
That's
somebody.
better.
See
Somebody got mad.
Somebody,
Emily.
they heard Emily.
Strongly
They heard you.
worded letter.
They're
Yes.
listening.
But then
and they
again,
heard you.
upsets is telling you that Sha'Carri was supposed to win. Which
Right.
again, if you don't know
There you
anything
go.
about
There
it,
you go.
By the way,
heard
I'm
you.
a huge believer in what Emily's talking about. You know, in sports generally, my attitude is there's first. You're either in first place or you're in last place, right? That's what my dad taught me because he was a great
you're not
sportsman.
first, you're last.
He was a great sportsman.
Or the first loser.
Yeah, the first loser, exactly. But at the Olympics, it's different because these people have trained their
Correct.
entire lives for this one moment, and if you don't have a good moment, you're screwed. That's what's scary. If you look at those sprinters at the starting line,
Right.
it's like that moment. You
Every
got to get
4
that
years.
start right.
Everything.
You got to get,
Everything.
and you get one crack at it.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I would say she's a silver medalist and no settling.
Yeah. So she got
I
upset.
didn't,
I went all last week. First loser, second loser.
I
I'm
didn't
like,
know
are
you're
you
Ricky
kidding
Bobby.
me?
You're not first
Yeah.
or last. I
no,
like that.
no.
Although
Yeah.
I did like the fake story about Russell Wilson slapping somebody.
That
was
was-
what
well,
I
maybe
want
dig
to
that
live in
up.
that universe.
That was
Does that even
that
look
was
like
a
the
fake
Russell Wilson?
aggregation.
Yes.
Doesn't
Yeah.
that even sound like Russell Wilson?
No, not at all. But that's why I loved it. I'm like, right, Russell slapped somebody awesome.
Like, what are we
Yay,
doing?
go-
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
job,
it was
Russ.
very
Is it from,
detailed
like,
too. It was
Adam-
like a full-handed slap.
Yeah,
It was
right.
like, yeah.
Is it from Adam Schufter instead of Adam Schefter or something?
Yo, it was like at NFC East.
Something.
Yeah.
And they bought it.
AFC East, and then it said it had a shot from training camp, but a still shot.
Yeah.
And then and both of them were standing there.
Okay.
And then they said, "Oh, they got in a fight."
Right.
As
The
opposed,
parody account.
As opposed to what 2 years ago when Aaron Donald had that one image with him holding the helmet in his hands,
Oh, that's
facing the
right.
entirety of the Bengals.
Cincinnati
like,
Bengals. That was you were there.
Yeah.
I thought that was,
Yeah.
Funny. Oh, yeah.
And any truth, Emily, to the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift rumor?
what
Oh,
are you
what is
even
the rumor?
talking about
What's
with the okay?
Okay.
So,
I
are you
didn't wanna bring
talking
it up, but
about
this
the
is-
one-
It's
Oh,
all
boy.
football news now.
Lady
That's
gonna
why.
have baby?
Are you talking about the one where he added in his suite a picture of her Eras Tour
did.
thing? One, I
In
don't
the
see-
suite.
So,
In
Kirk-
the Travis Kelce suite, he has now added a picture of his girlfriend,
Oh,
Taylor
that's-
Swift.
Didn't we just have this
very
conversation about
serious.
aggregation where you're like, who? Because we don't know who's filming this. We have no
Oh.
idea who is taking this photo around and filming Travis Kelce's suite.
Pretty gutsy.
So if it is there, amazing. I'm going to wait and see if I see it on the broadcast. If I see Taylor Swift take a picture of it herself.
Will
is
they
when I'm
last
gonna
the
leave it.
football season?
Many are
I-
hinting
Yes.
that they could be married.
They're going to be
already.
married.
I don't think
Secretly
that they
married.
would be.
That's
And by the way, that story is everywhere. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce has hung a Taylor Swift poster
There
in
you
his
go.
suite at Arrowhead.
But again, it's aggregated
That's-
from who knows who. You
there's
know?
a picture.
There's a see, we don't even have a video now.
There's
People
a
are
picture.
talking.
There's
like
a
when the Russell
still
Wilson had a
photograph.
picture.
All right, we're live from Rams training camp, and it is winding down right now. Practice is, and we anticipate we're going to talk to Sean McVey at some point this afternoon. We're on till 2 o'clock. Again, live from LMU. Mason, DeMarco Farr, and Kirk Morrison on 710 ESPN.
Clear.
This is the Rams training camp.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
And it is a Rams training camp Saturday special right here on your home of Rams football, 710
Jimmy G.
ESPN. It is our final day at Rams training
Chopping
camp
it up over
as we
there.
get ready for preseason football. Next Saturday, you'll hear it here on 710 ESPN and on the all-new ESPN LA app. Now back to LMU.
Up and on.
Field once again with Rams Super Bowl champion DeMarco Farr. Back to Mace.
And Kirk Morrison. So we're live from LMU. Practice is broken up now. So,
Yeah.
Kirk, as you said earlier, I can see Jimmy Garoppolo talking to Max Christie and his brother over
Correct. Yep.
there. Tyrese, we never saw Tyrese, did we?
I know. I think. Well, end of the movie. End of Fast
right.
and
End of the
Furious.
movie. We don't know how it ends. The plane goes by, but we don't know how it ends. Who is it a good day for, Kirk?
Today was a good day for the defense, for the good guys, I
Yeah.
want to call them. But it's great. Look, see how everybody's just kind of moseying on out of here. See, look at this. See my guy right here. I don't even know what number that is, but
He's
is
like
gone.
already on his way.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Like he's
changing as
he
he
shower
walks.
peeled up.
Yeah, he
like
did.
He's just shower peel. He's putting. I don't even know if he puts underwear on. He just probably puts just some shorts, no shirt, and just gets. I'm serious.
Yeah.
It's gotta go.
Last day of
Gotta
training
go.
camp.
Last
That's
day.
it.
You've already packed up already.
Yeah, right.
You've already packed up, so you're ready to go. You're ready to move.
Yeah.
But we did see,
somebody's pointing
some
somewhere.
weaknesses, and got some interceptions from Matthew Stafford. Maybe it's either do you think that's more of a sign of the offense trying to push it, or the defense being ready to go?
So I've heard two things about this. I've asked quarterbacks about this. What they do here at practice is they make those throws to see if they can fit it in that window. So it's
Like trying
he's
something
forcing
crazy,
it.
yeah.
So he'll do it here, but in the game he'll realize
That window's too tight.
window's too tight.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to get it to you if they run this particular coverage. So now he'll know. They give me cover 2. We run we call it a bang 8. I'm not going to be able to get it in there to Puka Nacua, which here he forced and it was intercepted. It was tipped.
We were talking about Jared Verse a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
A
D8.
17th round draft, 17th pick in the first round of
Correct.
the NFL draft. I asked DeMarco about this yesterday. I'm curious from you. I asked Les about it too.
Yeah.
They drafted Braden Fisk
Yes, the fist.
right after Jared Verse, their next
Right.
pick. Is that by design, do you think? Was there some idea that because they played together, there's some natural synergy between these guys?
Yeah, that's part of it. But then the other part is that in talking to scouts, you're watching the film on Jared Verse, but yet 55 also keeps popping into the same
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
So you're watching, like, we're scouting number 8, Jared Verse. We're watching him, and like, wow, but 55 keeps making plays. Wow, what if we got both of them?
Yeah,
you know
right,
what I mean?
right.
And so now that's probably entered their mind that, hey,
At some point they traded up to
they
get
trade up to
Fisk,
get him.
Yeah.
And so you have this big board. I don't know. Have you been watching off-season Hard Knocks?
I
When you
have
get
not.
When you get a chance,
The offseason Hard Knocks is
The New York Giants offseason.
Yeah, I've not.
Yeah.
The Bears, I think they're just ready to launch.
yes, that starts next week. So
Right.
there's kind of like leading you into these new Hard Knocks. I love them, especially what we just saw with the Giants.
Right.
They gave us an inside look in an offseason. They gave us an inside look on the draft process.
Right.
And then you've seen it online. They leaked, or HBO accidentally showed the entire draft board of the New York
did
Giants.
they?
Yeah.
Color-coded as well.
Oh.
Interesting.
With the color coding. That was the
Yeah.
interesting part, because the color coding was certain colors. Hey, if it was a purple, meaning he's got injury issue or
Right.
injury background history.
Sure.
There's also character issues.
Oh.
And there are some guys
has
who
a
had
color?
that has some color in there. I think maybe
Interesting.
yellow character issues. We may not want to draft this kid.
Right.
Then you have other guy can't miss. Right. And so Jared Verse, Braden Fisk were on that list as well in terms
They
of
were on the list?
of can't miss prospects. Like,
Okay.
hey, we're fine. If this guy's here, we're going to draft him. So
Right.
they had no worries. I just say that because I think the Rams literally saw this film and were like, we got to get a
Got
pass
Verse,
rusher.
and then we see number
If
55.
55 is still hanging around there, you know what? Let's just pull the trigger. And they had to trade up to get
Yeah.
Braden Fisk.
With
so,
the off-season Hard Knocks coming in, do you think that they're getting ready? Hard Knocks is to not
Yes.
have preseason at all, and to just have off-season Hard Knocks go into the regular season.
well, that's the possibility. I know you're a Steelers fan. And so
Yeah.
The question was presented to Mike Tomlin yesterday, his
Yeah.
press conference. He's like, someone asked him, hey, the AFC North is
Yeah.
going to have Hard Knocks. So the
For the
entire
in-season.
division, the whole
Yeah.
in-season Hard Knocks, all 4 teams
Yeah.
of the AFC North. And typical Mike Tomlin, we'll cross that road when it gets here. Right now, we're in training camp.
Right.
Yeah.
I have
Right.
no idea, but I do know that it is going to be all 4 teams will have to go through it. So as long as everybody's doing it, I don't have a problem with
yeah.
it. There is no advantage of who gets it
Yeah.
and who not. But it just gives you a lot of information. And
Yeah.
I'm a football junkie. I'm a football nerd. I love the information. I love to get more. And the Giants showed me just what goes into picking a player.
Yeah.
And how difficult. And
Did they? Well, obviously they had the wide receiver at the top
Yeah.
of the board.
yes,
I would imagine
Malik Neighbors.
the
Yeah.
guy that they took.
Well, they took Neighbors.
Yeah.
With their number 6 pick.
right.
Because the first non-quarterback taken was Marvin Harrison.
That's right.
So they're trying to call up Monty Ossenfort, who's the general manager of Arizona.
Yeah.
Hey, we're at 6. We may want to climb up there to 4. What would it take? And Arizona's like, no, we're good. We're good. We don't want to do anything.
Right.
We don't want to go back 2 slots. We want to stay where we are because they wanted to get Marvin
Yeah, it's
Harrison.
interesting because you never see that part.
You don't see
on
that part
Hard
of it.
Knocks. You don't see the offseason, the draft, all that stuff. You get
Loved
the
it.
training camp, but you don't get the rest.
Well, I loved it because then the Chargers are up, and everyone's saying Chargers are going to go grab a receiver. They got to get another receiver for Justin Herbert. They traded away Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
And they go and get a tackle in Joe Alt.
Yeah.
Big mammoth of a man. So I just love that piece of it, and I love it before the Rams too because they've done a great job in their picks outside of the first round. So to me, Braden Fisk is going to fit right into a position of need because Aaron Donald retired.
You make it sound so cool. Why do teams try to not be the Hard Knocks team?
Well, see, it's like,
Kind of nobody wants to be it, right?
nobody wants to be it, but there's also they put in
A rule that
A
says
rule
if you
that-
haven't done it a certain
Yes.
amount of time,
There's a
if
certain
your
amount of
number's up-
criteria
And you
that
can't-
goes into
if
it.
you're a playoff team, you're not
They're
part
not-
of it.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's
because
a
I
certain-
remember the year the Rams were on it.
Twice. They've done twice since they've been back to LA.
Jeff Fisher year.
The Jeff
and
Fisher
then-
year, first year.
Which year was it?
And
2018?
the 2018, 2019. I think it was.
And they were also on
COVID.
All or Nothing.
Yeah, so they all or nothing, but they did. Remember,
Yeah.
it was the combo of Rams
In
Chargers.
2020,
that's
because it was
right.
in
Remember
the,
they did
they
the
had the
Rams
Zoom
Chargers one?
meetings and stuff.
yeah, half that I
Yeah,
didn't
so they did
watch.
half
of that one.
I loved
didn't
it.
watch.
I love to see more. Anytime I could see more football, excited to watch it. But yeah, it's interesting, man. The Rams had 14 drafted players last year,
Yeah.
and they all made the team. This year, you drafted 10 more players. So if you add that up, that's 24. That's half your roster
Is
in
drafted.
2 seasons
Yeah.
are drafted players. That's why they're successful because, and I don't know if you noticed this, Mace. This is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I always feel that the Rams draft grown-ups. They don't
I think
draft
that's right.
kids.
Right.
They draft grown-ups. Guys that have been spent 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, in Stetson
Yeah,
Bennett's
right.
case, that when they come to the NFL, they know who they are as players,
As
but
a-
also
as
as a
people,
person, as
yeah.
people. That they just go play football.
Right.
Yeah.
Where some teams got to get the most talented player. He may be, 3 year or 2.5 years
Right.
removed from high school. Like there's still things going on psychologically that you can't handle or could handle. The Rams don't do that.
Well, it's interesting you say that because just in a related story about the Lakers, the Lakers tend to draft guys who have been in college a little bit longer. Like, for example, this year,
I love Dalton.
Connect.
Dalton Connect he played 5 years. He played
Yes.
junior
Yes.
Junior
small
college,
college, junior
Northern
college.
Colorado, then
And in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah, and so he played extra time. He's got extra experience. He is more mature emotionally and physically.
I got an update too from Sean McVey, who will join us a little bit after he finished up his press conference. But this is tweeted out from a reporter. Rob Havenstein has an ankle injury, per Sean McVey, is week to week. He says it is not season ending, but that he'll be week to week. So Rob Havenstein is older, is the last remaining St. Louis Ram on the Rams. So he's been here with us forever.
Yep.
He'll be ready week 1.
You think so?
They're going to be smart with
He's
him.
gonna be smart
Yeah.
with him.
They're gonna be smart with him.
This is also too for guys who you don't need the work. I don't think Havenstein needs the work. I think I've seen enough of him on tape. I've seen him be able to go out and play right away. So I don't believe this is a situation of concern.
By the way, 2 things I take away from today's show: shower pill,
Shower pill. Yep.
and they're
Grab
going to
him.
be smart with it.
You know what's interesting that I just said that? A buddy of mine walked over here. Running back
Puka's
Justin
right
Justin Forsett was Tyrese Gibson is here.
Oh,
is
there's Tyrese,
There's
yeah.
Tyrese. He is here. There's Tyrese right there. And he's fanning out.
He's
sees Puka.
totally fanned out.
There it
He
is.
wants a picture.
Yeah. He's getting a picture with Puka. There it is. Behind you, he can't find Puka. He doesn't know where
There's
Puka is.
Puka.
Oh, there he
There's
is.
Puka.
There he is.
Yeah.
Tyrese Gibson
Tyrese.
finds Puka. He was running all over. Yeah, shower peel. Buddy of mine who's here, I don't know if he's around here somewhere, named Justin Forsett. He's a running back.
Sure, I remember.
Yeah.
Was he in Seattle? I think,
Yes,
at one
Seattle
point?
for a little bit with
Yeah.
the Ravens. He actually started a company named Shower Peel.
Did he really?
I swear to God, no lie.
And what is it? What
it
is
was
the
like
product?
these wipes that like extended wipes
Oh,
that you can
okay.
go to the airport and freshen up for
Yeah,
people who
right.
are for the business person.
And it's
who's-
called Shower Peel.
Shower Peel.
There you
Yeah.
go. Turn
There
it
you go.
into a business. All right, we are live from LMU and Rams training camp. We expect to hear from Coach Sean McVey here in just a couple of minutes. We're on till 2. The Rams practice is wrapped up. It is me. It is Kirk Morrison. It's DeMarco Farr on 710 ESPN.
Clear.
This is the Rams Training Camp Saturday Special with Mace and DeMarco Farr on your home of Rams football. It's our final day at Rams training camp as we get ready for preseason football. Next Saturday, you'll hear it here on 710 ESPN and on the all-new ESPN LA app. Now back to LMU and back
First birthday.
Up and on.
Rams Super Bowl
All right.
champion DeMarco Farr. Back to Mace.
And Kirk Morrison is
Yes,
here as
sir.
well. We're live at Rams training camp. Great
up,
seeing
buddy?
you, Coach.
Congrats.
How you doing,
Congrats.
man?
I'm
Great
doing
to
good.
see you.
Good to see you guys.
So who won today, Coach?
The
What?
Rams won.
The Rams won.
No, I thought it was good. I mean, it was a good back and forth. I mean, when you're not really playing tackle and you don't have the ability to account for those things, I thought what I was really pleased with is our defense got a couple turnovers. Quentin Lake punches the ball out. You see the tip. I don't know who ended up coming up with the one tip where we threw it late over the middle. And then, Desjuan Johnson does a great job reading out as a contained rusher to be able to pick off a screen. So that was big for the defense. There was a lot of I thought the offense moved the ball up and down the field. So it was good back and forth, and that's what you want to see. I want to see good, clean football. I thought Sean Hockley and his crew did a good job of being able to officiate, and you try to simulate it as close to possible, but when you're not tackling or taking guys to the ground, I want to see good, clean operation, good communication, and I thought that was reflected on both ends. It's never perfect, but
Right.
it's August, 3rd?
Yeah, right.
So we
We're
like that. We don't want to be too far ahead of the curve.
So training camp is sort of ended now. What's the big takeaway from being here with the guys? What do you take away and bring with you as you continue?
Yeah,
throughout
training
the rest?
camp isn't what it used to be when you were doing your thing, Kirk. And we'll still stay in training camp mode. I don't know what training camp is, these days. But what it means for us is when we have a walkthrough in the morning, practice in the afternoon. Now, when we get an opportunity to go practice against some of these other teams like tomorrow, that's the only thing that we do. We try to really get as many reps as possible for our first group, where you're almost simulating a game, but it's in the controlled settings where you're getting normal down and distance. You're getting some second and longs, third downs, red area work, 2-minute, some move the ball, but it's predetermined, down and distances that are scripted, so it's not exactly replicable in terms of what a game is. But, man, it's great work against another team, and it is in a controlled setting where you're not tackling, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes.
There was a point last year where you guys were 3-6 and turned the entire thing around in just an amazing way. A lot of those same guys are here now. What can you take from that and use this year?
Mental toughness, resilience. I think the best part is those guys really stayed the course. Everybody always asked, what was the difference? There really wasn't one. Obviously, we got some guys back healthy, but I think the most important thing was guys got better, and they just kept committing to the process, and they weren't really worried about whatever the percentages were that we weren't going to make the playoffs. They just said, let's get better, let's focus on what we can control, and it led to them being able to finish the year the right way. And I think even, when you say you finished 7-1, one of the most proud moments that I was the way we went and competed against Baltimore,
Sure.
who I thought was playing as well as anybody in the season, the way that they were playing at home. And so we can use that, but every year's a new year. I've learned that in a very humbling way, but I like the way the guys are working. I like the way that they're really, there's a callus that I think you need to formate during training camp, both physically and mentally. And the mental toughness is something that these skills can be developed. It was a very specific part of our onboarding process, and I think you'll see that reflected. And ultimately, there's been a couple examples of some guys that we've lost some guys early on. Now, not for the long haul, but they're not out here. You'd like to be able to have everybody, but in the meantime, let's get guys better and let's look at it through a positive lens.
No matter how great Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant was, Phil Jackson would challenge them. Matthew Stafford, the resume speaks for itself.
Yeah.
You as a head coach, your resume speaks for itself, but how do you challenge Matthew Stafford in year 16?
Well, I think this, Kirk, and what Phil would tell you is that the best want to be coached. And I think you can do it where, hey, you're right there with them, and it's demanding, but it's never disrespectful and demeaning. It's because I know what our guys are capable of. And I always tell them I'm not going to apologize for having high standards, but I'm right there in it with you. Our job is to try to be able to provide solutions for how we can play at the highest level, put us in positions to be successful. Certainly our guys have bailed me out a whole lot, but I think we want to have our core values and principles that guide our everyday approach. And I remember talking to my grandpa about, when he was working with the 49ers and he was a part of 5 world championship teams, what was the separator? Our best players and our great leaders and examples, they were the example. They modeled the way, just like Aaron Donald did, just like a lot of other great players that have been here and gone and come. And so, that's what we've got with Matthew and a lot of these other guys.
There were moments last year that were very nerve-wracking. Field
which
goals,
ones?
extra points. Those were scary. Got a brand new kicker in here. Tell me about Josh Carty.
He's done a great job. I think Tanner Brown has as well. We'll see when we get into the preseason. We want to be able to try to create some good stress for him. We want to try to create some good stress out in these practice settings, but he's consistent. I think when you look at the location, how consistent his stroke or swing is, if you will. I think one of the things that you don't take for granted, too, is how important really all three are in terms of the snap, hold, and then the kick. Mm-hmm. So, everybody just looks at the kicker, but, when you look at the importance, I think you're seeing Alex Ward take, steps in the right direction as a second-year long snapper. We missed him in the latter part of the year. Ethan Evans as a second-year holder. Those are huge parts, but both Josh Carty and Tanner Brown have done a good job. But Josh is a stud, and I'm excited about seeing how he continues to handle things as we move forward.
I'm all about operational things, and maybe it's just the football geek in me, Coach, but how do you handle preseason this year? Usually you hand over the play-calling duties to some of your assistant coaches. Also, new defensive coordinator Chris Shula, is he upstairs? Is he going to be downstairs? Those types of things in terms of how the coaching staff will be distributed throughout game day.
Sure, it's a great question. I think the first thing that I think will be cool this year is with Aubrey Pleasant becoming our assistant head coach, a job that is earned, and he has done a great job for me to be able to lean on him. He's going to coach that second preseason game.
Okay.
I'll be up in the coach's booth with those guys, but he'll be able to, lead and do a great job. I think that'll be a great experience for him, and then he'll talk to you guys after the game, so I don't have to do that either. But so he'll do that. Chris, being a first-year play caller, he's going to call the preseason preseason games.
Okay.
I think it's good to work the operation. We still are not going to play if guys have been veterans or played in this league and we're counting on them, they're not playing in the preseason. That's the approach that we've taken. People know that. We still haven't determined what we're going to do with our rookies that we're counting on, but Chris will call it. And then I think it provides a good opportunity to have some of our different offensive coaches get that experience. And it's not even about the results as much as the process, because we are with a limited inventory of plays, got some different guys, but I think that's a great way to be able to, help guys get chances that they wouldn't get otherwise. Zach Robinson got a chance to call a preseason game last year. He's now a coordinator. It was the same thing with guys like Shane Waldron, Matt LaFleur, Zach Taylor. So, I think that's been good, and then you guys can at least have 3 weeks not to criticize me.
Wait, when was the last time Sean McVey was in the coach's booth during a game?
You know what? The last time that I was in the coach's booth was 2016 with the Washington. Now I can't say their name.
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
They're now
Football
Commanders.
Club, Commanders, yes.
When I just had a heartbreaking loss, I put us in a bad spot to the New York Giants. We missed out on the playoffs, and the Rams were dumb enough to hire me as the head coach after that.
Hey, it's awesome seeing you, man.
Hey, good
Excited
to see you
for
guys.
the season.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right,
Good
good to
talking
see
on
you
the
guys
radio.
always.
There's Coach Sean McVey joining us after the final training camp practice of the Los Angeles Rams. Somewhere you can hear people were chanting
Puka.
for Puka. Puka's
Yeah.
somewhere around here.
He's a superstar.
I think he did the spot next to us there.
I love that. He's talking to, I think, Max Christie over there.
Oh, yeah, there he is. There he is, yeah. We got one segment left here. We're going to come back, wrap things up. Live from Rams training camp, me and DeMarco and Kirk live on 710 ESPN.
Clear.
This Rams football, 710 ESPN.
Just as every point matters, every detail counts in our meticulously crafted vehicles. Experience luxury at the top of its game. Welcome to Cadillac of Beverly Hills, the #1 Cadillac dealer in the Western region for the 3rd year in a row. Check out the incredible selection of new and pre-owned vehicles.
But that's
today
interesting,
at
though.
our
He will not
showroom,
be in the. He will not be on the field
8767 Wilshire
for the second
Boulevard in
preseason
Beverly
game.
Hills, and at
It's gonna be fun to watch.
CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
He'll be in the booth.
Get your red on. Angels baseball from the comfort of a suite. Entertain
But Aubrey
guests
Pleasant
with
will be calling as the
all-inclusive
head coach.
packages. Call 888-796-HALO.
Oh, here he is.
.com/suites.
The biggest show on the radio.
That's Mason in Ireland.
Hey, Mason.
Go ahead, Abdul.
Shower pill, yeah.
You guys, I love you. Been
Hey,
listening to the
Rebecca.
show for
Hey, I just wanted to let you know our out time is going to be 57:20, and I'll give you a 60, a 30, and a 10. Is
Okay,
that good?
perfect.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, Rebecca.
coffee this morning, or what's going on, man?
You think I'm not bringing it today?
Today, especially, but just in general. Or the past year, I feel like you're just kind of coasting.
Wow, this call is going to rot in his head.
That is absolutely ridiculous, Abdul.
And I'm sure we won't use it for imaging at all. Abdul, what are you doing for the Mandy's next year?
I'm showing up and bringing Mason some coffee and some Energizer.
All right, hey, there you go.
Mason needs some coffee. I had 2 quad espressos today. I don't know what else I can do.
Steve Mason and John Ireland, Monday at 1 p.m.
Mason in Ireland on
He is shorter than I
710
thought,
ESPN.
Hun, I was doing our bills today and noticed something quite alarming. We're paying a ton of interest on our credit cards. We owe $20,000 on one with a rate of 24 and $15,000 on another with a rate of 29.
Yeah.
The rate calculation is buried in the fine print.
Bob and Liz at the office told me they had the same issue.
Oh,
so
got
they
it.
called
That
the
show
loan
you did for
exchange.
season
Bob
ticket holders.
refinanced and paid off
We were gonna go to that,
$50,000 in
then.
credit cards, and Liz got a
Didn't
home
work out.
equity line and paid off $30,000.
That makes sense. I'll
mean,
call
for
the
me, it
loan
would've
exchange and get rid of these ridiculous
Back in 30 seconds.
Hun, we closed with the loan exchange today, and I found out the interest in our refi is tax deductible. I can't believe we didn't do this sooner. Every day we were lighting money on fire by paying those crazy credit card rates.
His wife
at 855-752-9944.
was on the women's national team on the last Olympics. She almost got it. Yeah,
Loan subject to credit.
Oh,
See website
Justin's
licensing
wife.
information, loan
Justin's
terms and
wife.
conditions, equal housing lender. That's
Justin's wife.
855-752-9944 or theloanexchange.com.
She was like, yeah, she
And it
was
is a
just on
Rams
the
training
last
camp
team
Saturday
before they
special
went to.
right here on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN. It is our final day at Rams
Soccer.
training camp as we
Oh,
get
yeah,
ready
she's
for
bad.
preseason
Soccer.
football. Next Saturday, you'll hear
Legit.
it here on 710 ESPN and on the all-new ESPN LA app. Now back to LMU.
Up and on.
Once again with Rams Super Bowl champion Tamika Barr.
Here we
Back
go.
to Mace.
And Kirk Morrison.
Yeah.
So we are live at Rams training camp at LMU. Takes a lot of people to make radio happen. Thank you to Rebecca Wemble back in the studio, intern Reese, along with intern Brianna here, and Ben Conroy doing a great job. Anthony is also here. It takes a lot of people to do
Warren
this.
was here. Yeah, him.
I said Ben Conroy.
And Warren. Warren.
Oh,
somewhere
Warren's here too.
Yeah,
Sorry
Warren's
about
here.
that. Warren
Yeah,
is also
Warren here somewhere.
I made it. It's a somewhat incomplete list.
It's an incomplete.
I tried to remember
it
as
was
many
a
people
complete
as I
list,
could.
but to your
It's
point,
like
though,
Chris Morales leaving off Kirk Morrison.
Yeah, it is. No, Warren is the new Kirk Morrison.
There we go. No.
At least he didn't say DeMarco Farr and DeMarco Farr or whatever Chris would want to say.
That's right.
But, yeah.
That's right. So what do you think is a good number for this team? What is?
that's very hard. Very hard.
I'm in the 9 to. I'm going to say 9 to 11.
Because I do this game during the summer.
Yeah, right.
And I do when Caesars brings their odds out, and they always have, where do you think this team? I don't even know what.
Yeah,
the
I'm going to pull up the Rams over under. That's a good question.
And I always say this:
8.5 games.
8.5.
Yeah.
And so I think about 8.5.
Yep.
But then I also think about last year's 10-7. I don't believe this was a 10-7 team. I think they caught fire, and who goes 7-1 in their final 8? So I say, are they a 10-win team, or are they more of a 9 or an 8-win team? I fall in the category of this is a more of a 9-win team.
So
if
I
they
say
take the over, I'll take the over.
the over is 8. Yeah, you're taking over the 8.5.
I'll take the over on the 8.5. I think even in their worst year, this is still at least 8-win team.
So you're not ruling. I say 9 to 11 wins. You're not ruling that out.
The ceiling 12.
Yeah,
like 12
Sure.
is
That's
the ceiling.
a
12
great,
is really good for
fantastic,
everybody.
best. Everything's happening at the best.
But the floor could be 7.
right.
That's what
the
I think
hard
too.
part. Yeah, but that's just saying that,
Yeah.
tragedy or something.
God
Not tragedy,
forbid.
but God
Yeah,
forbid, like you lose your quarterback in
injury,
week number
yeah.
4.
Also,
like
you
injury.
you could lose close games. You
Correct.
Can have,
But, look,
these are good teams are playing.
The Jets lost Aaron Rodgers 4 plays into a season and still won 7 games, I think, last year. 7, 8 games. So it can happen. I mean, I was looking at the Broncos. I was doing something on the Broncos. The Broncos were 9, or they won.
They were 7?
No, 9 and 8.
Were they 9 and 8?
Look at
Yeah.
like the Broncos. Like
This year, what
The
do you
Bears
think about
last year,
X?
or did
7.
they 8, 9, or 9, 8? But they won more games than I expected with all the chaos that was going on. So I think about when the Rams, I'm like, even if there is some chaotic moments,
Right.
they still are going to win at least a minimum of 8, 9 games. Minimum.
Yeah.
Now, if everything goes right, like we saw the second half of the season, now they're 12 wins.
Yeah, Broncos
Right.
were an 8-win team.
8-win
8-9.
teams. Yeah, 8
Yeah.
and 9.
8 and 9, and they were
With Russell
they were not
Wilson
good.
and
They had that
Jarrett
what was that
Stidham.
gigantic loss they had? Didn't they
Yeah,
give up?
70 piece.
Yeah,
So
70-20 to Miami, but they did go on a
70
1,
piece.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 win streak during the middle of their season.
What do you think of Bo Nix there?
I got to see preseason.
He's almost
I wanna
30.
see. Yeah, he's an elder.
Yes, he is.
But you
talk
need to
about
be-
drafting guys when they've been around for a
I
while.
mean, Michael Penix Jr. same boat. But.
Same boat.
Yeah,
They've been
true.
around.
Yeah.
True.
Well, I think drafting adults.
Yeah.
Drafting guys who are going to come in and be able to have seen a ton of football. They've
Yeah.
seen a lot.
Especially quarterback.
Yeah, it's about reps.
Yep.
How many times can you get reps? People forget that Justin Fields only played 3 years of college. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was obviously going to be difficult to start at times. And we saw the same thing with Bryce Young last year. He looked like he didn't belong.
I can't imagine he's going to be a good quarterback.
We'll see.
You can't change your hype.
the pride of modern day.
In my analysis, I can't imagine he's going to be a
But
good
I see him coming back. I see
Do
him
you?
taking a step forward. Now, it doesn't have to be a gigantic
Well, he cannot take a step back.
If he takes a step back, he'll be sacked. He can't see over the line of scrimmage. We know that. But it's just a part of the NFL, like the training camp cycle, because I can read all the reports of what's going on in training camp.
Right.
But yet, I have to see it for myself. Like I was
Sure.
at Raiders training camp.
Right.
And I was at Raiders training camp yesterday. And the whole thing is everybody's like, oh, my God, no one wants to take the quarterback position because they're in a battle between Gardner Minshew and Aiden
O'Connell. Yeah.
So everybody's like, oh, my God, like, no quarterback wants to take the job. It's just it's even neck and neck. So I'm like, has anybody seen this defense of the Raiders?
Yeah.
like watching Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins, who they signed this offseason.
Right.
The quarterback doesn't have a chance. The offensive line doesn't have a chance. These dudes are getting rid of the football.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know we're talking about quarterback battles, but it's hard going against a defense that's better. I think Matthew Stafford saw it today at practice. This is a much improved defensive secondary for the Rams. Some new pieces. They added some guys who, in free agency, they've drafted some players. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult at practice than maybe was. So my true evaluation comes when I see them in the preseason games and in these inter squad or whatever these scrimmages they have with other teams.
Yeah.
That's the true evaluation.
Sure. Who do you think wins the job with the Raiders? You were there yesterday. Is it Aiden O'Connell or is it
My theory is that you go with Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah.
Because he got you there last year.
Despite the fact that Minshew had a decent year last year.
He had a decent year. That's the reason why he said he chose the Raiders, was because he knew that, look, no matter what, it was Anthony Richardson's job. I'm just here.
Oh, by the way, he's going to bust out this year, right?
He better.
Yeah.
As in play well, not like bust out like
Oh,
he did last
no,
year.
I mean bust out like
Right,
yeah, I don't mean a bust. I mean bust out successfully.
I know what you meant. It's that's what I love about the NFL, because you just don't know. You don't know. Like if I would have told you last year that C.J. Stroud would have been the guy to come out.
I
and
would be surprised.
You'd be, come on, man. Like, really? Like, it's supposed to be Bryce Young, and then I see Anthony Richardson, who played well, then he gets hurt. That's why I think that this may be, and this is my opinion, I really love this, that this may be one of the more exciting preseasons that we see in a very long time, because there are players who are going to have to play in the preseason.
Yeah.
Especially these younger quarterbacks.
Right.
Because you have to know what you have. We can talk about starters all we want. Sean McVey just talked about some starters won't play. But the interesting thing that he said, which select rookies won't play.
Right.
Because it's one thing to watch your rookies in practice.
Like Verse won't play, I'm assuming.
But you need to see your rookies in an environment on the field and see, are the lights a little bit too bright?
Yeah.
Are the lights a little bit too much? Because there's guys I've been around who, at practice, you're like, oh, yeah, let's go get him fitted for a gold jacket.
Right.
He's going to the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
Then we get to game day, and you're like, did he play?
Yeah.
Because you don't hear him. You don't see him. You don't feel him. But at practice, he's the number one guy. So that's the moments that I want to see in preseason when it comes to not just the quarterback position, but the other positions of need on everybody's team.
So we are getting ready for a 17-game season.
Or 18. 17 or 18.
We're at 17 right now.
17 right now.
When are we going to see 18? We're at 17 now. When do we get to 18?
Soon. I would say in the next 2 years.
In the next 2 years?
Yeah. Because I think right now you have these television contracts are linked to – because once you go to 18, everything changes.
Yeah, right.
You got to redo contracts.
Plus, don't you have to open up the collective bargaining?
Yeah, you got to redo
stuff.
Everything changes.
Probably have another buy in there.
Correct.
And see it worth.
It's not just
you
like,
heard
next
the
year.
Joe Burrow's plan. Did you see that one? 2 buys and then a Pro Bowl weekend.
No, we're not doing
somewhere in there, which is like an all-star break.
But you can't break and have guys – because I'm not going to play in that. I don't care because I know what it's –
But it's a break for everybody.
It's a break for everybody, but who's going to show up? You know what I mean? Especially if your best players are probably hurt. Like, I'm not sending Patrick Mahomes to go to a all-star game that – if I'm Patrick Mahomes, why am I playing it? I don't get paid for this.
Yeah.
I'm doing this for –
You think 2 buys is enough?
2 buys will be enough. My whole thing is I really think that they're going to go to 18 games, 2 preseason, but everybody's forced to play 1 international game. That's where the NFL is going. 1 international game. They're going to expand.
And you always
You think everybody is going to play 1?
I think that's going to be the standard, right? Play because you're already expanded to 2 games in Germany.
Right.
You're doing 2 games over in London at
London.
Tottenham
You
Hotspur.
did one in Brazil.
Brazil's
I know
going to
they
open the
want
season this year. Yeah.
They want Australia, which
want
I know
Australia.
that Rams have a really close connection to Australia.
Look, Paris just showed you that they have the infrastructure and they love sports, so they'll have a game in Paris. Trust me, they're going to have. And remember, that's just 16 games. Okay. If all
to me,
32
that is much better. It's much better that everybody does it, so it's equitable. Everybody has to deal with one of those weeks.
Well, that's what Mike Tomlin keeps saying. If everyone has to do one, then we're all on the same level playing field.
Yes.
Okay, but then people are gonna complain if you have one in Mexico, but someone else has to go to Australia. It's a very
but at
different
least
plane
it's a
ride.
big international.
Everybody's
production.
playing. Like,
Yeah, but I think-
I've played in one before. I've played in one in Toronto.
Oh,
I was with the Buffalo Bills, but
I think people care less about the playing in a different country as it is the travel time. So if you're going to England versus going to Australia versus going to Mexico, it's a very different rest on each side of the
I went to London one time with the Rams. Did you go to that?
I didn't go to that one.
That was a great.
But you remember the bottom line is that how much were those tickets, though? Like, there were Super Bowl prices for those type of tickets.
Oh, I'm telling you, people over in Europe are crazy. I mean,
they love football.
In England and in Germany in particular.
Correct.
Huge NFL following.
What's happening?
Hey, you're back.
Just finished. Did Puka come over?
No.
Puka didn't come over.
Dude, we
He's
got
a
attacked
superstar.
by
No.
Tyrese Gibson.
We saw that.
Yeah, he wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
He
No,
attacked
is
the
that right?
stage.
He was trying to find Puka.
Yes, he says he's now the Black Puka. That's
is
what he
that what
said.
it's
I am
called?
now the Black
Black
Puka. He would not leave the stage. He
Spoiler
turned.
alert, he survives.
Yes, he turned Tyrese into a fangirl. It was crazy.
Yes, he did. That's
Yeah, it was
crazy.
nuts. Yes.
Now, are you ready to do one of those up downs that you taught
Do
me?
it.
Is everybody
We have
gone?
3 minutes,
Everybody's
yeah.
gone.
Only if Kirk does it.
Do
All right,
it.
Kirk, are you gonna do
Do
that?
I'm a little
it.
sore right
Do it.
now.
Wait,
Do
so
Are
what
you a
up
little
down are we
sore
doing?
right
I'm a little sore right
Little
now.
sore?
Okay.
Yeah.
What up down are
Okay.
we doing?
You know, the back, when you lay on your back, hit, and you roll over and get up and hit.
Like, so lay on your back,
Yeah.
roll over, and then get up like you're doing like a football.
Yeah, you know, the hitting drill. You don't remember the hitting drill?
Oh,
where
like-
we lay head to head
Oh, that football.
and hit
that
and you
one.
roll over. Yeah. I did
wow.
it. I had Mason
No,
do
he
it.
had
I
me
didn't
do it, and then didn't tell me
I didn't
the
tell him-
secret thing.
right.
So
I didn't know
he
I
was
had
supposed
to.
roll over in order to do it, and he just had me like rock.
But I've never had
golly.
anybody. I've never had to tell anybody that.
Oh,
You kind of roll over and go.
Done that in.
Yeah.
And actually,
Is
the
that
best way to do it is actually to have one foot
Up.
planted
Yeah.
up.
And roll.
And
Yeah.
Sort of cocked to the left a little bit.
Yeah.
Why don't we do
'Cause you always
a 100-meter dash? That's
You
what
wanna
we'll
do a 100
Let's
meter
do a
dash?
100-meter dash.
Well, that's 100 yards
or 80 yards, whatever it is. We'll
An
do
80-yard dash.
We'll do an 80-yard dash.
Are we allowed to go out there? Oh, I guess from training camp's
Practice is over. It's kind of gross
Training
out there
camp's
right
over.
now.
Yeah,
There's
is it?
Sweat, blood, everything else is
Yeah,
out there.
let's
It's a whole
not-
lot.
Just don't touch the ground.
Yeah, let's not do it.
Yeah.
Let's not do it.
Okay. No more
Not
physical stuff.
Yeah, no more physical.
By the
Yeah.
way, guys, ESPN LA and the COT are playing in their softball game
Oh,
today
all right.
right
How's
now.
that going?
Right.
As of, so Laura is my version of ESPN's updating their box score.
Oh, good.
So she says that ESPN LA is up 2-1 over the COT.
Let's
So
go.
Do we know who's playing for what team?
I have no idea
All right.
anything at all.
But we wish them great
Yes.
success out there.
I think Jorge
Both-
is playing.
Both ESPN LA and the COT. We wish them a lot of luck. All right, final takeaway here, DeMarco.
Puka Nacua is a bona fide celebrity.
Yeah,
Bona fide
people
celebrity.
love Puka.
Love him. And, I mean, that's great for him, and that's also scary because you have to carry that.
Yeah.
Being famous in the NFL is one thing. Being famous in Los Angeles is a whole different animal when you have celebs looking for you. But it seems like he can handle it.
Right.
And he loves his role in the offense.
He
which is
seems
cool.
to enjoy.
Big time.
Yes.
I think, what DeMarco's saying I agree with,
Yeah.
only because, let's be honest, who was the celebrity for the Rams? Outside, like the
You
guy
had
that
reluctant celebrities.
Reluctant celebrities.
Yeah.
Think about Puka Nacua is everything that Cooper Kupp doesn't do.
One
Right.
minute.
Cooper Kupp is low key. He's to his self. He's with the family. Puka's playing in the celebrity all-star basketball game
Yeah,
in the
that's
NBA.
right.
You know what
Sure.
I mean? He's Team Jordan now. So he loves it and embrace it because he's still so humble about it. That's probably the biggest takeaway, that he is the Rams' biggest superstar on this team.
And Verse and Fisk are for real.
Yes.
Verse
Yes.
and Fisk are for real.
For real, yes.
Yeah, that'll make a huge difference.
No doubt.
With Aaron Donald. Is there any chance? I forget. I don't have time.
There's always a chance.
There's always a chance.
Always a chance.
Eric Weddle proved that to everybody. There's always
Always a chance. Okay.
Always
Didn't
a
even
chance.
have to ask the question, and I got an answer. All right. Thank you to Emily. It's always great working with you. Thank you. Hi, Caitlin. Thank you to Ben Conroy and the whole team here. We have had a great time at LMU. Thanks to all the people here, and of course the Rams.
10
Thank
seconds.
you. Thank you to Kevin Demoff and Sean McVey joining us today. This is the home of the Rams. 710 ESPN.
Whose house?
Clear.
Biggest show